Hey fucks! Mad Mike here with the most delayed list video of all time. So I have a good reason for delaying this bullshit for so long besides getting a new full-time job and shit, and that's because I wanted to take my time with this one. A lot of YouTubers like to put out their end of the year lists before the year is even over, and I understand why, algorithms and all that, but I myself like to pull my pants down and point to the exact spot on my ass where the algorithm can kiss. Also, I like taking my time to listen to every possible album I can before I make my final decisions, and also, well, I'm just fucking lazy, sue me. Anyways, enough of the bullshit, so let's get to it. Here are my honorable mentions. And that's it for the honorable mentions. And now, it is time for my top 10 metal albums of 2020. Enough of this epic bullshit, I got laundry to do, you fucking needy bitches. Oh hey, a Melodeath album by a legacy Melodeath band that was actually fucking good. I did review this earlier this year, so you can hear my in-depth thoughts on it if you watch this podcast episode right here. But if you want a Melodeath album that has actual dynamic songwriting, this is the album for you. It's heavy, it's melodic, it's epic, the songs can be short, long, average length, and all of it is a lot of fun. Fun enough to crack the top 10. Black metal with a tribal twist. As a guy with Algonquin in my blood, I connected to this one real well. Every time I put on this album, I feel like ancestors are awakening in my head and telling me their life stories. This new wave of American black metal is going super strong, and Braid is quickly becoming one of the leaders in the scene. Their first album was retroactively placed on my 2021 list, and this one is another just as great slab of tribal American black metal greatness. Might be a surprise pick, but I think this album is great. In fact, I think it's their best work since None So Vile. Not that that's saying much, but it was a huge surprise for me to see this band come back with such a vengeance after 11 years. Even though they've long been surpassed as kings of tech death, this band is giving the Archspires a run for their money with this one, which is impressive for a legacy act that hasn't done anything good in a while. This one's for you, Rooster. Now I gotta say, Decap has never really been a band that I got around to listening to because I'm a lazy fuck, but after listening to Terrasite, I'm kicking myself for never checking them out sooner. This is a great concept album that makes me feel sorry for being a human. The vocal performance on this by Travis Ryan is fucking phenomenal, and the conversational style always keeps me engaged. This was a great introduction to the band for me, and I'm really enjoying my deep dive into their discog. Chosen by the elders to kill one. It was corpsing time, and these guys corpsed everywhere. Okay, 2022 called they want their dead meme back. But seriously, is there anything I can say about this goated fucking band that I haven't already said? Putting a new Cannibal Corpse album on a top 10 of the year list is as routine as Ronnie Radke taking L's on TikTok. These guys are in their mid-50s and are still putting out material that is as good as it was in their prime. To be honest, they might still be in their prime. George still sounds great, Alex still shreds, and Eric Rutan has grown even more comfortable in his role as guitarist. These guys are death metal legends for a reason. Your move, Chris. Oh yeah, give me that progressive Skeleton Witch, daddy. Seriously though, ever since Chance left Skeleton Witch, I've been waiting for another artist to take over the black and thrash genre with a vengeance, and James McBain is doing exactly that with this one. There's blackness, there's thrashness, there's techness, and there's an amazingly talented artist who's only going to get better. And his name is fucking badass. It's amazing that all of this music came from one guy. It's yet another project that does a great job of blending the old with the new. James McBain is on my radar. It's nice to see him make good music. Speaking of awesome thrash metal, I'm giving you my favorite thrash album of the year, which is yet another banger from Enforc. As you may know, I've had my eye on this band ever since Kill Grid, which was on my 2021 list, and I am happy to declare that War Remains is somehow a massive improvement in every way. The album is tighter, more focused, more well-paced, and most importantly, the songs kick you right in the ass. This is absolutely nothing you haven't heard before in terms of thrash metal, but if it ain't broke, there's no need for Enforc to fix it. Thank you for keeping the spirit of thrash alive, guys. Anyone who watches me knows that black metal and I historically have been at odds with each other, but this year, I've really come around on the genre as a whole. One of the reasons is this album right here. Daddy Hyman, or whatever this band name is, gave me quite an out-of-body experience with this album. It combined traditional black metal with ambience and 80s synth pop, and the result was somehow not a jumbled mess. It was incredible to hear all the talent on display, and yet the songs were all so memorable. I've really turned around on black metal this year, and albums like this are why. Speaking of great black metal, the gods of the genre are back. They have never made a bad album in their career, in my opinion, and not only is Heimdall no exception, but it is right up there with some of their best work. From the gorgeous looking cover, to the beautiful atmosphere the music gives off, to the incredible musicianship, to Hakon's great synth work, to Grudel shrieking his heart out, this album is very near flawless. Every time I put this one on, I feel like I'm being transported back to a time where Vikings ruled the earth. Thankfully, that's not today, go pack go. In a career full of giving their audience incredible listening experiences, Enslaved have given us yet another incredible experience of an album. And now, Mad Mike's #1 album of 2023 is... I love this fucking band. If you follow this channel, you know that. And you'd also know that their previous album, Skin Show, was my #1 album of 2021. That album is still played regularly in my rotation, and it is still one of the best albums of the decade so far. As good as Skin Show is, though, deep down I thought The Lion's Daughter fucked up with it, because they made something that would be really hard to top. Well, after letting Bathhouse stew in my juices for a little while, I can safely say that they somehow topped Skin Show. This is a delicious slab of blackened sludge with dark synth work sprinkled all over it. The result is something I will label as John Carpenter core, because the keyboard work is very reminiscent of that legend's scores. These guys are unbelievably talented, and it's such a goddamn shame that they're nowhere near as big as they've earned the right to be. At the time of writing this, they only have around 2,000 listeners on Spotify. That is fucking criminal. I have more subscribers on my channel than they have followers on Spotify right now. That is not right. I implore each and every one of my subs to go fucking follow them and listen to them and like them and tell all your friends about them. They should not be this fucking obscure. They've made 2 albums now that are goated as fuck, and yet we have hack frauds like In Flames who take up all the spotlight. What a fucking joke. Anyways, this is my #1 album of 2023. I love it to death, and The Lion's Daughter is quickly becoming one of my favorite bands of all time. And that's it for my list, guys. Oh yeah, and my pick for worst album is Take Me Back to Eden by Sleep Token. I can hear the booze already. This band is boring, pretentious, pseudo-intellectual, and overall just everything I can't stand about music. This is another example of a pretentious piece of self-filleting slop that needs to be eliminated from the metal scene yesterday. Fuck this album. This band should retire. Alright, that's it from me on this one. Bye, fucks.